It may not feel like it, but you are right where you need to be, and I promise you, you haven't missed your moment. See, a lot of us are almost convinced that somehow, some way, God has forgotten about us, that somehow, some way, God doesn't hear our prayers, or maybe we've been forgotten on his list of people to bless. Especially when you're surrounded by a group of friends, or you're constant on social media and you're seeing everyone that you grew up with, become successful. You're seeing everyone that you follow getting promotions at their job, they're getting married, they're becoming successful, they're making good money, but yet you may be behind on your rent, or you may barely be able to afford food, or you're in a position where you really need an increase, you really need a breakthrough, but it seems like it's not coming. And you're the one that's faithful in prayer. You're the one that continues to read your scripture every single day. You're the one that continues to put God first, but yet it seems like everyone else who doesn't believe in God is winning, but the one who is faithful is losing. Okay? But I really want to tell you that this video came across your timeline at the right time to give you the extra encouragement and the extra strength and the extra boost that you need to continue on this path. Because I want to start with the scripture that says this. It says, don't grow weary in doing good, for in due time you will reap a harvest of blessings. Okay? Now, we always quote that scripture. It's a very well-known scripture. I believe it's Galatians 6:9. Okay? But we hardly take time to actually dissect it. It says, don't grow weary in doing good, meaning that there is a time where you're going to feel like not doing what you need to do. You're going to feel like giving up. You're going to feel like throwing in the towel. Okay? You're going to feel like that you need to stop doing what you're doing because the enemy's trying to convince you that what you're doing is not working. But it starts out by saying that don't grow weary in doing good. Why should you not grow weary in doing good? Because in due time. Now, the only challenge with that statement is this. It doesn't give us a specific time, but it says in due time. Now, how can you find strength and encouragement in this scripture? Well, you find confidence in this scripture by knowing that there is a time in heaven. There is a time ordained by God. There's a time ordained by the author and the finisher of the entire world where you are designed to become successful and to gain everything that is meant for you. Okay? It says in due time. It didn't say maybe, it doesn't say if, but it says in due time you will. Not you might, not maybe, or possibility, or possibly, but you will reap a harvest of blessings. Now, it closes out with this one last component that you must comprehend, and it says you will reap a harvest of blessings if you don't give up. So the reality is this, is the only thing that is going to keep you from becoming successful and truly obtaining everything that God has for you is if you give up or not. So I want to give you this encouragement to let you know that you are at the right place at the right time. I promise you that there is a time under heaven meant for your elevation. God has not forgotten about you, but God just knows that if he gives you what you desire right now, there's a possibility that he will lose you in the process. So sometimes before God gives something to you, he wants to make sure that he has you and that the thing will have the potential of having you and taking you from him. This is why God has such a problem with people in the scriptures, because the times where he would bless them, they would end up taking the blessing and turning it into an idol. That's why Moses was telling them, before you go into this land, I want to tell you this, that when you get into this land and you become prosperous, do not forget the Lord your God, the one who has caused you to be prosperous. So trust in the fact that God knows when you're ready and when you're not ready. And trust that even though you may feel like you're ready, God is able to search the depths of your heart and still see some things that need to be altered and fixed before he blesses you. Okay? So take this thing as protection and a lesson before you gain your blessing. But I just came here to let you know this is one YouTube video that you will come across is your sign that God has not forgotten about you and you're at the right place at the right time. And I promise you, there is a time under heaven where you will receive your blessing and you will receive everything that you prayed for. God hasn't forgotten about you. He cares about you.